allow me to introduce to you my brother. He feels the same way you do, won't he either? He feels above all this. And so I feel it my duty as leader of these people to punish him. Why should one man's word be above that which all agree upon? But who made you leader? I shouted out in anger, as I saw his poor brother's face, tired with agony. I should remind you that you are a visitor to my land. For your information, I was elected into the position by all here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, every one of my citizens voted me into this position in a true and fair election, and thus I am the law, and so it be. Then you would punish your brother like this, your own flesh and blood, and when he is dead, will you also eat him as you have the other nameless people? Why should you presume otherwise? It is not his flesh that I have a disliking for. It is his mind, his soul, his moral indignation of the life we all lead here in order to survive. If that is your choice, then so be it. I wish that another way would come, but if you feel more pleasure in my death than in my life, dear brother, then let it be. Let it be so, came the soft and gravelly words of his brother, strapped to a device which seemed to be sending small doses of electricity throughout his body. I stood there as the two brothers argued, and I, with the little words that I heard, I found in them quite a difference. For two that had been born from the same mother, it was truly unbelievable. How two could be so unalike? One was cruel and evil, whilst the other was kind and good. They were like chalk and cheese. I could hold my tongue no longer, and so I asked, "How did you become so different?" Max answered the question with a level of distaste for such a suggestion to even be made. "Would you believe, according to my father, who long since passed, it was due to a bottle of juice? Strange, is it not, how something so insignificant and small could make the difference between us? My puny and insipid brother, with me brave and tall, a leader of men." I wished to comment on his self-analysis of the situation, but he did not give me the opportunity. It was but a beginning, as all things have a beginning. Apparently as legend as it has become, has it, I asked for some juice and got it, and so my brother asked too for some juice, and likewise got it. Then I decided I no longer wanted this juice, and so I refused it, and no question was made of it. And then my brother too refused the juice. But question was put to him why he asked, and now he did not want to. And so it was that my parents, who up to that day they died, believed foolishly that they treated us equally. And let me tell you, as one whose faults were hidden and joys were trumpeted, there was nothing equal about their treatment of me and my brother. And so I got all I wanted and became this way, and my brother, quiet and walked off, belittled, became his way, which is why I am the leader, and he is a mere nothing. To me, your brother seems a better man than you could ever be. You speak of such coldness, it shocks me, how one could watch his own brother suffer and revel in it. I shall do more than that. Watch me. You want to see my world, then watch now. He walked up close to his brother, placed his hands by his brother's feet, feeling for some wires, and pulled out a set of buttons on a panel. With a touch of this button, 3,000 volts will surge through his body, burning him alive in front of your very eyes. This is my world. This is the world we live in now, that in which we must survive and be selfish and fight for ourselves alone. And those who will not fight, then they must, as all must, die. And with those words, without even taking a last look into his brother's eyes, he pressed the button, and a gut-wrenching minutes of white flashes surged up and down his brother's body. As he screamed in extreme pain and agony, his eyes bulging, for the first few seconds, they stared straight at me. The only one in the room he felt near to contact with, as he met with the most painful death a man could endure in those most briefest of moments. Excrement fouled the floor, vomit drooled from his quivered lip, his limbs became contorted and misshapen, perspiration dripped from his pain-stricken forehead, and all of a sudden his head caught alight. He screamed for a second as more vomit which caught the fire streamed down his body, and then he was no more. And for a further 30 seconds of that minute, the white flashes of electricity burned his body to a crisp. Then, with a crackle, the voltage ceased. "Oh, dear God, what have you done?" "Please spare me your words of sorrow. He was my brother, and if anyone should grieve, then it should be me. And as I don't see why you should. If it makes you feel any happy, I should not eat him. His flesh is no more." "You make me sick. Is this what society has turned into? What will be next? What other things have been abandoned, all in the name of survival?" "This, my friend, is law and democracy, and both of them are me. Now I hope you enjoyed that. Next is dessert." He clapped his hands again, and two women wheeled in Harkin, attached to a rack which behind him had coals burning. "What have you done to him?" "He must face his crimes. This is his punishment. To slowly be burnt alive, layer of flesh by layer of flesh, as fits the nature of his crime. They burnt in fractions of a second and were no more. He shall suffer days of slowly burning away till his skin is burnt off to boil his blood and his internal organs. And then, and only then, will his pain truly fit what he has unleashed upon us all." I looked into Harkin's eyes. He looked like he had been drugged up to stop him moving about too much, or have too much consciousness of what was happening. But the pain I could see he felt, as his skin was bright red raw. And so he would scream every so often from the bottom of his lungs while struggling to breathe, and his cry would break down, as his voice could not carry the note. "He does not deserve to die this way. No one does. You must stop this," I said, but the leader just laughed and pushed me to the ground and placed his foot on my shoulder. "What right have you, little man? If this is not of your taste, then go away from here. I will let no one interfere in our ways, and those that do, like my brother, shall die. But listen carefully to my words. If you wish to choose to live, then you must let go of these things you hold on to dear, as they have no place for us now." I removed his foot. I wiped away the mud from my shirt and stood up, I squared my eyes up with his, and stared at him with all the anger my body had to know. He pushed me away again. Each hand he pushed as I reached the door, and in the distance I could see Harkin fade away, but his screams were ever present, no matter how far away I was. He closed the large door, and I was left outside. As again Harkin screamed, I could only continue to imagine what pain he was experiencing. Each time I thought of his body red and burning, I would shiver from head to toe. As he again screamed, I walked away from the building out into the open, where his screams slowly faded from my ears. But I knew, whilst I could no longer hear his pain, it still continued. It still continued.